let's move on to main topic number 1. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Geeky Gator, who writes, "Hey, John and gang. Deadpool creator Rob Lifieid recently said that Josh Brolin told him he wanted to be able to continue to play Cable after the Fox X-Men characters were put under Disney and Feige's reign, despite having been Thanos. Actors like Gemma Chan are able to play 2 different Marvel characters, so why not Brolin? Do you think Marvel will keep him as Cable?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, that is actually, in fact, what was said. Now, if we go over and take a look here, let's go over and get the actual words that Rob Lifieid said. So Rob Lifieid was talking about, he said, "Look, I'm going to tell your viewers, Josh wants to be Cable again sooner than later." Lifieid tells comicbook.com, Brandon Davis, "He is itching to be Cable again. He loved being Cable. He told me he understands how beloved his role as Thanos is, but he doesn't look completely like Josh Brolin." So there's that. That's coming out of the Rob Liefeld's comments talking about Josh Brolin. Now, whenever you see stories like this run around, the first thing you have to understand is this. An actor coming back to play a role is 99% of the time not a matter of whether or not the actor wants to come back to play the role. 99% of the time, that's completely irrelevant. The studios really don't care. If the studios have him under contract, then he really doesn't have a choice about whether or not he comes back to play it or not. Anyway, it's really up to the studios. So, and by the way, actor wants big paycheck for doing the job of his dreams. It's not a headline. Still, that being said, there's been an argument made that Josh Brolin cannot be Cable anymore with Deadpool being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, or so they say, because he's already been Thanos. Let's get that one out of the way right now. Cable isn't Thanos. All right, Thanos is a giant 12-foot tall, however tall he is, purple skin, grimace-chinned, whatever it is Deadpool called him, a CGI creature that, yes, has some resemblance to Josh Brolin. Sure, but it's not Josh Brolin. And as you so articulately put in the email, we have seen other characters actually pop up in multiple roles. So it's not completely unique. It's not completely different. It would be totally fine. Let me tell you why, though, I don't think you're going to see Josh Brolin back as Cable. And then we'll talk a little bit about why you just might actually see him back as Cable. I don't think the problem or the hesitation or the roadblock in Josh Brolin coming back to play Cable is actually the fact that he's Thanos. I really don't think that is at all any problem whatsoever to the people at Marvel. I think Kevin Feige, when he thinks about this, I don't even think the thought that he's already played Thanos even remotely crosses his mind, right? If Josh Brolin played a very human-looking Thanos and it was just him, maybe it'd become an issue. But at this point, I don't think that's an issue at all. I'll tell you why. If you had to make an argument about why he's not coming back, this is the reason he's not coming back. Because that story had nothing to do with Kevin Feige. And Kevin Feige, I think, historically has shown he is very protective of his story. One of the reasons, Rob, I don't know if you were at the Marvel MCU Phase 3 announcement at the down at the El Capitan Theater, but
no,
me and a few other people were down there. And one of the big moments that was kind of a ooh moment was one of the people in the audience asked, what about tie-ins with the television stuff that's going on, right? And Feige's response was so dismissive. And I think, mostly because I had nothing to do with that story. I'm not going to try to jerry-rig it so it force fits into my world and my story.
Right.
I had nothing to do with that. And it was such a dismissive thing. It was like, okay, it's pretty clear Feige is only concerned about his MCU. And I have a feeling that if all this transpires and everything, I think the biggest reason why you wouldn't see Josh Brolin back as Cable is because that's not Kevin Feige's story. That wasn't his thing. And I don't know that he feels the need or the desire to try to fit what somebody else's story was in order to make it work in his MCU. So if there's any reason he's not going, that's going to be the reason. That would be the reason he wouldn't come back. It wouldn't be because the fans didn't like him, because the fans liked him. It wouldn't be because Brolin doesn't want to come back, even though that's irrelevant, but he does want to come back. It wouldn't be because of it wouldn't be because of whatever. It would only, and I believe exclusively, be because Kevin Feige wants his own stuff. Period. End of sentence. Have a good day, sir. Which is one of the reasons why the X-Men universe is going to be a complete reboot. He doesn't want to inherit somebody else's stuff. He wants to move forward. That said, Rob, I want to suggest a very significant reason why all that could be true and why we very well could still see Josh Brolin as Cable. It starts with, I still believe there's a chance that Kevin Feige doesn't actually integrate Deadpool into the MCU.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, that's been a long-standing thing here. That the whole R-rated issue, blah, blah, blah. I believe there's still, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I still believe there's a very legitimate chance that Kevin Feige lets Deadpool stand on its own as its own cinematic thing under the Fox banner, blah, 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 and all that, or 20th century banner they're going to do. I think that just makes sense. So those are the reasons why, Rob, I think we won't see Josh Brolin back, and the reasons why I think we very well could. But Rob, you take a look at this. You hear these comments. Josh is itching to get back to play this role again. What do you make of this?
Well, look, as we know, the Deadpool franchise is a $750 million plus grossing franchise. This is not something you shake a stick at. And they did buy the 20th Century. Now it's 20th Century Studios.
Oh, right. Yes.
They've released films like that. So they have the 20th Century Studios logo, moniker, whatever. This is something, they've got the creative team in place. Ryan Reynolds is going to head it up and make sure that nothing happens. They've got the writing staff. I mean, I'm sure they'll bring back maybe the same director we saw in Deadpool 2. This is almost a no-brainer. And at least we'll probably get one more Deadpool movie out of this, and to round out a trilogy. It makes good business sense. I think that Disney is going to need material. I mean, they're only releasing 8 to 10 movies a year, which isn't a lot. They don't have, and 20th Century Studios, after we see what they've already had in the pipeline play out, what other movies they're going to release? They could retire that, I guess, but they still need to feed Hulu, and they need to feed their other streaming platforms and services other than Disney Plus. And I think making a third Deadpool movie is almost a no-brainer, and bringing Josh Brolin back as Cable, obviously people love him. There was great chemistry there. He was a great character. I love the way he was portrayed on screen. He's already in the Disney family. So in a way, I see Josh Brolin's involvement a benefit, because he obviously did a lot as Thanos for them. And I think making another there's no risk. I mean, Hollywood wants to be risk averse. There's no risk for Disney now that they have the 20th Century Fox label to release the film under. No one's going to mistake this film. It's not going to wind up on Disney Plus. I think it could happen, and I think that it's a good thing. And I think you are dead on the money. I don't think Deadpool belongs in Feige's MCU the way it's been created, because it wasn't something that they created. And it's not an ego thing. It's just, they've carefully built this franchise. They've carefully curated it over 11 years. Now we're going to see, well, if we ever see them, but we will eventually. We've got Black Widow and the Eternals. So there's going to be 24 movies, actually 25 movies. This is movie 24 and 25. So this is something that Kevin Feige has carefully built, and he's going to continue to do that. And I see that making a Deadpool movie outside of the MCU is a smart play.
All right. Question here is, guys, what do you think about Rob Liefeld's comments? Do you think we're going to see James Brolin back as Cable whenever and however we restart the Deadpool universe? I've got some reasons why we won't and some reasons that we will. What do you guys think? What's some stuff that we're overlooking here? Jump down into the comment section and let everybody know. All right.